A warm welcome to the program. Now let us begin with our first story. France says it will be returning dozens of works of art to Benin Republic more than 100 years after they were taken from the West African nation. The decision comes after a report urged President Emmanuel Macron to return works taken without consent in the colonial period. The items to be returned include statues taken by the French army in 1892 from the Palace of Abomey. The statues currently sit in the Quai Branly Museum in Paris. Now, in Benin Republic, authorities have greeted this news with applause, hailing President Emmanuel Macron's decision as courageous. But in France, it has been met with controversy.
It's a historical decision for some, aberration for others. It must be said, Jerry, the question of the restitution of African heritage is divisive in French intellectual and artistic circles, and this provokes a lot of emotion. So if you look on the web, many personalities have spoken out on the issue, and some have criticized a lack of consultation at the national level. It is the opinion of the Dominican journalist and editorial writer Montvalon through this tweet that is currently displayed on your screen. Hashtag Macron, a first decision. To Jupiter, Macron. To Benin, 26 works of art currently on display in the Chirac Museum. Surprisingly or not, no debate or consultation. And then we've also noted this tweet from the Nigerian humorist and producer Maman, who ironically noted that the French media have difficulty qualifying the controversial African heritage. Hashtag restitution, not to say the objects have been stolen, they've been taken, and they've entered into France. To talk about it, we are on the line with Quai Branly, a Beninese politician. Coming straight from France, the French President Emmanuel Macron announced on November 23 the immediate return of 26 works of art to Benin. Can we say that France marked the first of a process that several countries have colonized, the colonized African countries should follow? I believe that absolutely. It's the beginning of a long process that could ensure that the art objects, the collectibles that were looted during the colonization in Africa, will be able to be returned to Africa, so that Africa's cultural heritage can shine and allow it to enjoy the heritage in terms of tourism as well as in finance.
Justement de cette patrimoine sur le plan touristique et financier.
So the decision is divided in the intellectual and cultural circles of France. For example, the former Minister of Culture, Jean-Jacques Aligon, is concerned to see the African collections of the museums of France empty and defends the universal character of the Parisian museums. Do you understand his concerns? In fact, something should be highlighted. What is currently found as art objects in France museums or in other European countries, which belong precisely to Africa, are looted objects. The objects have been looted, and they do not belong to France or to the Western countries we are talking about. These are objects that have been looted and belong to Africa. Today, it's important that these countries are able to return these things, to return these art objects to Africa, even if it means that if one of these countries, notably Benin, for example, if all the art objects are returned inside, Benin decides to sell them wherever France is interested in some of these objects, can make an offer to Benin. It is up to us in Benin or the African country to study and offer and make proposals for some of these objects that we decide to sell, or to lend, or to rent these French museums, because in reality, they are objects that belong to Africa and must be returned because they were looted. So, according to experts, more than 80% of Africa's heritage is now located outside the continent. French public collections alone contain more than 90,000 objects from sub-Saharan Africa. Instead of taking individual steps, do you think that they should dispossess, or Africa can gain something if we get them back? Perhaps the African Union can intervene.
je suis persuadé que c'est des démarches qui ont
I am convinced that these are steps that have already been taken and that have not necessarily been successful. And I welcome the foresight of President Patrice Talon. I think that at the same time, each country should go in this direction, even if it means that at one point, when it will take, we can finalize it with a global thing with the African Union. Otherwise, wanting to do it together could pose problems if not everyone has the same degree or the same conviction about the return of these objects that were looted by colonizers.
Voilà, ce sera le mot de la fin. Merci à vous.
Thank you so much for highlighting this Ulrich Parny Gadui, Beninese politician coming from Cotonou.
Merci beaucoup Ulrich Parny Bagidi, homme politique béninois qui s'exprimait depuis Cotonou au Bénin.